This is the third battle between AK and Iraklis. Sparta versus Syracuse. And AK is commanding Sparta this time, Syracuse being commanded by Iraklis. Spartan hoplites, heroes of Sparta, Spartan hoplites, heroes of Sparta. Then we have Periki Peltasts, Rhodians, Gorgos, Periki Peltasts, Periki Pikes, 4 citizens, and a Tarentine cavalry over there. For Syracuse, we have Thorax hoplites, Thorax swords. So the Thorax swords are on the center, the Thorax hoplites are on the flanks. For skirmishers, we only have a slinger, 2 Tarentines, 3 citizen cavalry. No, actually we have 2 slingers. So the skirmish advantage goes to Sparta by quite a large margin. Equally matched in cavalry. In infantry, it's going to be interesting because Thorax hoplites will do a decent job against Spartan hoplites in Phalanx. However, Thorax swords will not perform really well against this Spartan infantry. Thing is though, Iraklis has quite a bit more infantry than, well, not in absolute numbers, but his mainline infantry outnumbers the mainline infantry of Sparta here. The thing is that these skirmishers can quickly turn around fights, and if they're able to do damage to Iraklis' units early on, then Iraklis is in a lot of trouble. It seems like Iraklis has some more skirmishers here, cheap slingers. It would probably be a good idea to send out those slingers to eat volleys from Gorgos and Rhodians here. Trying to deplete their ammunition a bit. And the Tarentines firing on the Periki Pikes. This is in the shielded side of the Periki Pikes, so they won't do that much damage. But any damage is good damage. So the Periki Peltas rushing up here could get into range if Iraklis isn't careful. Yep, he pulled out a bit too slowly and he got hammered there by some javelins, losing 5 Tarentines. So these Tarentines got 2 kills and the Periki Peltas got 3 kills. Over here something happened. Iraklis loses mercenary Italian cav to citizen cav and to Periki spears. Periki spears have precursors, so they are a very welcome addition to the Spartan roster. A bit pricey perhaps, since they only have 2 precursors. Charging into the Periki spears here, maybe to get the Tarentines some juicy targets here in the form of this citizen cavalry. Might be, and certainly to get the Thorax hoplites into the fight. Well, the citizen cavalry is taking a bit of damage pulling out, but they're going straight for the Tarentines. Losing a few men on the disengage. And piling in here with the Thorax. No, actually turning around the Thorax hoplites to face the heroes of Sparta here. Good move there by Iraklis. He saw what was coming, he turns to face them. The heroes of Sparta haven't lost anything yet. So going into Phalanx is going to be very important now. Yep, Iraklis is first with his Phalanx against the heroes of Sparta. And this actually gives the Thorax hoplites significantly more damage than the heroes of Sparta. Now the heroes of Sparta are in Phalanx, so they are doing the damage now as well. The Thorax swords are wrapping around. He really wants to kill these heroes. The Thorax hoplites are taking fire in the flank, moving into the Spartan hoplites here, going into Phalanx. And these Thorax hoplites, they are not getting a charge, they're just jogging into the Spartan hoplites, so that's unfortunate. Now they're continuing to move, trying to chase away these Periki Peltas, but the Periki Peltas already killing 20 Thorax hoplites, very important that. The citizen cavalry gets into the Thorax swords, javelins being thrown here by the Thorax swords. The Thorax swords really need help from Thorax hoplites if they have any hope of bringing this around. The infantry of Iraklis is pushing away the main line of AK. Pericipeltas pulling out of the fight. Only one Thorax Hoplite in here, and it's losing decisively against the Spartans and against the heroes of Sparta. So are the Thorax Swords. But winning here are the Thorax Hoplites against the Spartan Hoplites, even though these Thorax Hoplites took prior damage. So the Thorax Hoplites are a very good unit. Keeps chasing the units away. Thorax Swords against Spartan Hoplites. Thorax Swords do not like fighting Hoplites in Phalanx for the most part. They do have shield wall, but Phalanx is the superior formation. Mercenary Italian Cavalry, nice charge here into the back of the Citizen Cavalry. Thing is though that these Spartans, they won't rout very easily. So causing a bit of mayhem here in the skirmish line is Iraklis. He's conserving his skirmishers here. Could be a good idea to just focus everything he has on the heroes of Sparta. Move a bit closer, get some good shots off. The Pericipeltas about to get charged by Tarentines here. They might not do too poorly here actually, because the Pericipeltas have a bit of armor. They won't just fold and die. So yep, they didn't do too poorly there. They might struggle against Citizen Cavalry. Heroes of Sparta, as far as I can tell, they're not taking damage now. The Thorax Hoplites moving into the flanks of the heroes. And a wraparound here by the Perici Spears. But this is a good charge by the heroes of Sparta, wrapping around Thorax Hoplites and Thorax Swords. Moving away from the pikes here. Sandwiching the Pericipeltas between Tarentine and the Thorax Hoplite. Nicely done there. And these skirmishers have been able to do some damage, although they have been chased for most of the battle. Now the Thorax Hoplites, they have gotten kills here, but they are fighting multiple units. And these slingers, they haven't gotten a lot of kills. And it's looking very hairy in the Athenian center. As expected, the Thorax Swords are losing, not getting too much killing done. And the Spartan Hoplites are winning here now against the Thorax Hoplites. They joined that fight, so the Spartans managed to catch the Athenians in the rear, which I'm sure the Athenians appreciated. So Sparta is breaking through in a lot of places here. I really think in both of these battles where Iraklis is going Greek, relying on Thorax Swords is... Thorax Swords have to be babysat to an extreme degree. They cannot be expected to win against anything. The heavy lifting has to be done by the Thorax Hoplites. And it's Syracuse and Athens with Thorax Hoplites. They are easily dismantled, even by Sparta and even by the RDA, because they have something they lack. They have an abundance of decent spare units, whereas the only good spare unit worth bringing is Thorax Hoplites for Athens and Syracuse. You could bring your Thureos, but Thureos against the Greek faction, unless they are very cheap Illyrian Thureos, not something I like to see on the battlefield. So the heroes of Sparta they have taken quite the beating here. But overall, Sparta is doing well. A nice precursor throw there against the heroes. It looks like most of those precursors actually missed. 150 kills for the heroes. And they're running back to some Rhodian and Gorgo support. Thorax Swords against Spartans. Even combat, but the Spartans are in Phalanx, so eventually they're going to grind down the Thorax Swords. Over here on the flanks, the heroes of Sparta, 127 kills. Thorax Swords losing decisively. Thorax Hoplites losing slightly. Even combat here between the Spartan Hoplites now and the Thorax. But these skirmishers are going to be a problem. If they have ammunition remaining, that is. won't take many volleys to kill a unit like this thorax. Yeah, point blank fire from slingers, wow. That drops those thorax very quickly, even wavering now that they connected with Gorgos. So Athenian units mostly losing. Heroic action here from the Thorax Hoplite general, going up against the Spartan Hoplites and beating the crap out of them. The Thorax Hoplites are holding well against two Spartans. These Spartans not in Phalanx, and just as I say it, they are being put in Phalanx, but it doesn't really matter at this point, because there isn't a lot of Athens left on the field. There's quite a lot of Sparta left on the field. Spartan Hoplites taking fire, but these are only normal slingers. The Athenian general just died, 36 men remaining in his unit. Moving the slingers to the back to get some rear shots off here. But the Spartan Hoplites see it and they turn around to face the slingers. Might even catch the slingers here if the slingers aren't careful. The Spartan Hoplites are tired, so the slingers should be able to pull away. But these small things don't matter when your general is dead and most of your army is gone as well. The Thorax Hoplites putting up a heroic last effort here, but there's just so much Sparta on the field. So the general's unit gets charged here by the winded Spartan Hoplites. Mercenary Italian cavalry out on the flanks. There's nothing that they can do now. Even if they manage to kill all of these skirmishers, it's not looking good for Syracuse. And killing Spartan Hoplites with dirt cheap slingers is not easy. Exhausted Thorax gets hit by Spartans here in the flank. Actually, they're just moving away. Spartan force consolidating in the center. When the balance of power starts, these guys losing ammunition, they're just going to be routing off the field when these remaining units are picked off. I doubt they have the ammunition required to take down these units as well. So costly victory there. AK took this series 3-0, which I have to say was quite unexpected. So congratulations there, he wins the tournament. But I have to say, this was to me not Iraklis at his best. I don't know whether he hasn't practiced or whether he just made he prepared for armies that AK brought different armies, so Iraklis' armies weren't as effective as he expected. But the combination that he brought several times with Thorax and Thorax Hoplites, you have to bring them, but Thorax swords, I mean, look at how poorly they perform compared to the Thorax Hoplites there. And I like the Spartan army that AK brought here. Nice and relatively balanced army. So a deserved victory there for AK the Legend. And thanks to AK for sending me these replays. Strength and honor.